Konnichiwa and welcome to Tsuki no Ame, where we try Japanese sweets and treats. Today we have 3 treats from Boxu. We have these mini fried bread Senbei or Kinako. These are rice crackers that are flavored like this fluffy bread that apparently is pretty common in Japanese school kid lunches, so that should be pretty interesting. We have sweet potato Langue. I do apologize for pronunciation. I've been working on Japanese, not French, unfortunately. But those who are familiar with Japan probably know that Japan has kind of, I wouldn't say super long, but at least within the last century, a very well-known fascination with France. So you do get a lot of French cuisine that gets kind of brought over, and while a lot of English words get adopted over for things like computers and printers, for things that are fancier, they tend to use French. So that's definitely a weakness of mine, but we do what we can. And then we also have this Ginza Rusk chocolate, which I think we're actually going to start with that. And so let's get started. Itadakimasu! Alright. So these are supposed to be like these chocolate cookies, and I have no idea what these are going to be like, honestly. Because they are described as cookies, but they're like these weird cubey things. I don't know. In some respects, just visually, they kind of make me think of brownies, but they're firmer. It's kind of like they made it seems like they made a crunchy cookie out of brownie. I'm not sure. It smells really nice and chocolatey though. Like I said, kind of, I don't know, it's giving me more brownie vibes, like brownie turned cracker vibes than cookie. Let's see how this goes. Pretty good. It's a touch bitter, which is kind of interesting. And not in a bad way, but you know how sometimes dark chocolate can get a bit bitter, especially if there isn't something sweet to kind of balance it out. It's kind of like that. And it does, in the center, have a real chocolatey texture. Kind of like if you have a brownie that was baked with like chocolate morsels in it that is cooled so that the chocolate is firmed. It's kind of like that. Definitely, I don't know, it's still giving me kind of the brownie vibes, despite the fact that it's fluffy. Like it's kind of fluffy and solidified. There are all these, like you can see in the package, there's all these air pockets, and you can feel that in the texture. But the flavor really, it doesn't taste like a cookie. It tastes more like a brownie, and kind of it's a weird cross between brownie and cookie. And I have to say, for those of you who have tried the brookie, I have to admit I'm not a fan. I definitely would prefer these and the way that they're kind of a merging of the two. So next we have the Langue, the sweet potato flavor, which I am very excited about. I like sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes are a huge thing over in Japan. This time of year they start baking them, and you can apparently buy them on the streets. Alright. And so you can see the filling between the two cookies. Alright. So the cookies themselves are really quite crispy. This filling in the center has kind of a butter texture, and it doesn't have a strong flavor. It doesn't taste strongly of sweet potato, which I have to admit in my case is a touch disappointing because, like I said, I do really like sweet potato, but it's also not bad. It's a pretty good little cookie. Definitely a fun little sweet treat. And then we have this rice cracker that is supposed to taste like a fluffy sweet bread. Pardon me. Despite being really kind of crunchy it does look like, again, kind of like with these Ginza Rusk, that it's taken some sort of thing and solidified and crunchified it. So I first have to say I have not tried the bread that it's supposedly flavored like, so I don't know how accurate it is to that. But it's very sweet. It has a just mild flavor. It's not, a lot of times these kinds of crackers kind of have a bit more of a soy sauce flavoring to them, and it does not have that. It's much more like a sweet bread. So how much it tastes like the specific sweetbread, I can't say, but it does taste like a sweetbread in general, uh, while having that much firmer, crunchier rice cracker texture. All in all, not too bad, pretty good. Gochusara. Okay, so to recap, we have the Ginza Rusk, which is kind of like somebody, I don't know, maybe like somebody freeze dried a brownie. That might be it. That might be somebody freeze dried a brownie to make it into a cookie, maybe. We have the sweet potato Langue, not very strong flavor, but also not unpleasant, just mildly sweet. The cream has just this kind of real smooth, creamy, buttery like texture to it, which is pretty good. And then, of course, we have the fried bread Senbei, which tastes like a really good sweet bread while having that texture of the rice cracker. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you join me again next time. And if you like my shirt, don't forget the link is down in the description below. And please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Johnny!